Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, the 15th of December. Um, I want to talk about whether Jesus, as one of the questions in here, whether Jesus loved life and whether he loved humanity as he professed that he did. But I also want to tell you what I'm up to at the moment. I have actually left looking at the Bible at the moment, and I'm going east. I'm going into the Eastern traditions. And a special path in the Eastern tradition, which is called Advaita Vedanta, which concerns itself with the teachings of the very early teachings that you find in the Upanishads, the thinking of the rishis, which is pretty much the root from which everything else is grown. And I found something, for starters, something really interesting, because the rishis are looking at the underlying reality, that out of which everything comes into being. Now they call that reality Brahman, and they describe it as the one without a second. Yeah? Now, what predates Judaism, or at least you can see it in the Kabbalah, because that is still attached, at least to a part, to the earliest thinking. Now in Kabbalah, you have, again, the underlying reality. They call it Ein Sof, and they describe it as there's no one beside him. Yeah? So you can kind of see that they're coming from the same root. There's no one beside him, or the one without a second. They are going two different ways because they're looking in two different places. The Eastern tradition goes very much within. It tries to see the light inside of themselves, God within, and to become the awareness of that light within. Whereas the Jewish tradition looks outside. And that is because, and it says in the Bible, by him everything is created, and without him nothing is created. So the same forces are still visible in what it creates. So they're looking without to see the forces, how they work in nature, what they produce in nature, and getting an understanding of the underlying reality that way. Which in Jesus, the two actually came together, because Jesus very much looked inside in the Eastern tradition to see the light within, the kingdom within. But then again, going the Jewish way of saying, how do these forces that are created within impact outside? And that is exactly what he did. Now, he was given a knowledge simply because he asked. He asked that question. The Eastern traditions don't actually ask that question. They're not concerned with outside, but purely with inside. So if you don't ask that question, you don't get the answer. And they never asked. But Jesus did. He asked, how does the forces produce inside affect outside? And he was given an answer, and he was shown what it works. But the knowledge he was given, the knowledge of the Father, the knowledge of the forces from within, was given with a specific way in which these forces should be used and what they should serve. Yeah? They were given to heal, to feed, to aid life, to serve life. So then here is the question, did Jesus love life or did he love humanity? And even in the way that he was asking, you can see what his priority was. Because even in resurrecting Lazarus, he asked, if this were to glorify the Father, let this be. So to him, resurrecting Lazarus was actually secondary. The primary intention was to glorify the Father. So did he love life? Yes, unless he was completely inhuman, he did. But life should serve something greater. So to him, the feeding, the resurrections, the healings were actually primarily to show the power, to show what it can do, to make this knowledge visible in this world, to prove that it works. But the fact that people were healed and stuff like that, that was actually secondary to him. Because this knowledge should be used, again, in the end, his way is that that knowledge should be used to, again, serve the first intention, which is to rule over this world, to have dominion over nature, and that. And that came first for him, and life came second. So, I mean, I was wondering today, people ask, why are we here? And if you go the Jewish way, and you can see the intention in the outcome, or by what it works in this reality, then if you look at anything newborn, the very first instinct, the very first intention in any newborn thing is the will to survive. It's a survival instinct. That is the first spark that we're coming with. Wanting to survive, which should grow into wanting to live. But of course, in this world, again, there are, for us, sentient beings and able to think. That opens to us a lot of other possibilities of what we could experience. And again, life becomes secondary to, it serves other experiences, and it is life itself that should be experienced. It is what was given. We were given the chance to experience life. And the knowledge that Jesus was given was to serve life, to aid that experience. So, now I'm going back. There's something else I wanted to say. Well, yeah, everybody is so obsessed with getting out of here. Yeah? And I really can't see how it would take thousands of years of thinking to work out a way to get out of here. I think it's quite simple. Our bodies are that fragile. It doesn't take much to take us out. So how would that be the aim? And I'm thinking that, if you look at nature, how many parts of nature do actually intentionally commit suicide, apart from us? Yeah, which other part of made nature is obsessed with ending its own life? I don't think there's many there. But, and here's a discussion I had that, the whole thinking of the Bible, and maybe you could also say of the Eastern tradition, that at its root, it's the fear of death. So it's fear-based. And again, I think you're looking at the wrong thing. It's definitely part of it. But, as I said, fear is your servant. Fear alerts you of danger. It's trying to warn you of danger. It's trying to keep you safe. So then the fear of death is actually not the primary cause of everything. but it is a servant to something else, and that is the will to live. So maybe we should concentrate on the will to live, which is the primary cause, rather than its servant, which is secondary. Anyway, as I said, I'm going into these Eastern teachings now in a big way, and especially into the oldest teachings that are there, that are primarily concerning themselves with an awareness of Brahman, of the realization of the light within, the awareness of it, the understanding of it, something like that. And with the intention that if I find it, I would use it exactly the way that Jesus did. Well, not exactly. But, again, to have the knowledge of inside, to use it outside. Yeah? That is my intention. Whether I ever get there is another question. But if I were to find a knowledge like that, I would use it exactly according to the intention with which it was given. It is not to serve anything else but life itself. That is what it was given for, and there should be no other intention beside it, or most certainly not above it. Yeah, there shall be no God above it. Anyway, that's what I'm doing at the moment, and see where it takes me. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.